What's up guys, Kevin or the Sports Geek here, and in this video I'm going to go over my DraftKings PGA picks for the Travelers Championship. I'm going to do something a little different here. I'm going to be talking in my new studio here, and I'm also going to bring up my Fantasy Labs screen here while I'm talking. So I've got 4 golfers this week, and I'm just going to get right into it. As always, if you don't have an account at Fantasy Labs, make sure that you check out the link in the description below. It will get you the best available price at the time. You can sign up, get access to the Sports Geek Pro model, which you can see here on the screen. So starting off first, like I said, I've got 4 golfers, and we'll start off with the higher price golfers. So we've got 2 at 7,300. Starting off, we've got Charlie Hoffman. He's 7,300, like I mentioned. Great course history here, 27th, 43rd, 2nd, 7th, 26th, and 25th since 2010. So it looks like he absolutely loves playing this course. And he's coming off an 8th place finish at the US Open. So I do think he will be popular based on his finish last week, his price, and his course history. But when someone like Charlie Hoffman, who has done pretty well this year and has good course history and is coming off a good finish, it's really tough to fade them at that price. So I'll be playing Charlie Hoffman. Again, looking at his game log, you can see over his last 6 tournaments, 40th, 30th, 40th, 24th, 45th, and 8th. So at 7,300 in this field, which is probably about an average strength field, 7,300 is a little too cheap for Charlie Hoffman. So I'll be on him. I'll also be on Nick Watney, who is 7,300. Again, a guy with good course history, 13th, 11th, and 39th in his 3 attempts here since 2011. His recent form isn't great, but it's not bad. He's made 4 straight cuts, but the finishes haven't been too great. 59th, 40th, 53rd, and 68th. Not many high DraftKings scoring tournaments there, but if you go back to March, he did finish 14th, 28th in February, 14th. So he had a good stretch there, missed a couple cuts, and then he's made 4 straight cuts. Just no real high finishes, but given his course history, 39th, 11th, and 13th over his last 3 tries here, I do think he's a solid play at 7,300, and he's projected to be 0 to 1% owned. So I would expect him to come under 5% owned, and at that, I really like him at 7,300 for a GPP play. Emiliano Grillo, or however you say his name, 7,200. No course history here, which might scare some people away and hopefully keep him somewhat low owned. Pretty good price for him. You can see his price got up there. Back at the Career Builder, it was 9,800. More recently at the Memorial, it was 8,500, and then it did go back to 6,900 at the US Open. He shot 76, 76, so not a great US Open, but before that, finished 40th, 24th, 11th, 42nd. So pretty good form other than the US Open, and just a pretty good DraftKings golfer when his game is on, and we should be able to get him at low ownership. So I like him this week at 7,200. Pretty risky pick, so I'd keep that GPP only, but like him for GPPs. And then the last pick here is Lucas Glover. This one's a risky pick, but given the price, it is risky, but I think he will be pretty popular. Fantasy Labs has him projected 5 to 8%. At 6,600, I think he'll be popular. If he was maybe 7,600, where I would expect him, then I think he would have low ownership. But at 6,600, he should have decent ownership. Maybe 8 to 10% would be my guess. He is coming off 2 missed cuts at this course. Before that, 47th place finish, a missed cut, but then he finished 11th and 19th in 2009, 2008. So it has had some good finishes, but it's been a while. But more recently, his recent form for this year has been pretty solid. He's falling off a little bit here with a missed cut at the US Open, just barely, shooting 74, 72. 45th place finish at Memorial Tournament. The Dean and DeLuca Invitational, he missed the cut. Prior to that, the Players, he finished 6th. But overall in the season, he's had a pretty good season, and he's definitely a better golfer than a lot of the guys above him at 6,600. I probably would maybe even look at him in cash games. Haven't looked at cash games personally, but he's worth a look. I think he's a pretty solid golfer. He does miss his cuts, but he's a pretty solid golfer. 66 is way too cheap. His ownership shouldn't be too high, coming off the missed cut and not a great course history. So he's someone I like at 6,600. So those are my 4 golfers this week. All GPP plays, that's what I'll be playing. Charlie Hoffman, Nick Watney, Emiliano Grillo, and Lucas Glover. So I tried to give you guys some lower owned guys and some lower price guys. I think Hoffman will be high owned. His projected ownership is 26 to 30%. So you can maybe, if you want to be risky, you could try to fade him. I just like him given the price and his recent form and his course history. So I'll be playing him, but those other guys should be pretty low owned. I'd say under 15% for all three of those guys. So I'll probably have about 15% exposure to all four of these guys, somewhere right around there, depending on when I build my lineups. So those are my picks for the for the Travelers Championship. If you guys like this video, if you like this style, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, and I'll try to continue to do this each week. Good luck this week, guys.